Why are you chasing crypto moonshots when the truly wealthy are quietly building empires in the dirt? You've been sold a lie that wealth requires silicon chips and viral algorithms. They want you distracted by shiny objects so you don't notice the massive cash flow hidden in the basic infrastructure of your city. We are stripping away the glamour to reveal the cold, hard mechanics of six boring businesses that boast a 90% success rate. These aren't gambles. They are engineered certainties generating tens of millions in monthly revenue. Whether it's property-oriented assets or service-based systems, we are breaking down the exact blueprints to scale them into multi-million-dollar exits. If you're still waiting for a miracle, you're a victim. If you're ready to build, you're a visionary. Be honest. How old are you? And what is the number one financial obstacle stopping you from starting a simple business that everyone else thinks is beneath them? Let us begin with a fundamental truth that the academic world refuses to teach. The average person views work as a trade of time for money. The elite view business as the construction of an automated system that solves a high-friction problem. Most people fail because they want to be the next Mark Zuckerberg, but they do not realize that the market for social media is saturated and volatile. The market for clean windows, functioning air conditioners, and trash removal, however, is a biological necessity. It is governed by the laws of physics and human discomfort, not by the whims of an algorithm. We will start at the bottom of the ladder, where sweat equity transforms into leverage, and work our way up to the heavy hitters where we talk about acquisitions and global scale. Phase 1. The low barrier entry, or the surgeon of the squeegee. Most people look down on window cleaning. They see a bucket, a ladder, and a wet shirt. The 1% see 40% net margins and a recurring revenue model. Consider John. He did not start with a grand vision of a conglomerate. He started with a bucket and a squeegee. He found a local bank that needed clean glass. Why does this work? Because it is a high-friction, low-skill task that businesses hate doing themselves. The average person thinks, I can do that myself. The elite business owner thinks, my time is worth $500 an hour. Why am I cleaning glass for $20? This is the gap of utility. John realized that by doing the work himself, initially, he was not just cleaning windows, he was mapping the pain points of the service industry. He was building the standard operating procedure, or the SOP. He learned exactly how long it takes to clean a pane, how much soap is wasted, and how to talk to a security guard to get through the door. This is the first principle of wealth. You must understand the dirt before you can hire someone to clean it. Today, John clears $4 million a year in pure profit. That is more than most Wall Street VPs. He does not touch a squeegee anymore. He owns the systems, the routes, and the contracts. He is not a window cleaner. He is a logistics architect. Phase 2, the digital toll booth, or the ATM blueprint. If window cleaning is about labor leverage, the ATM business is about geographic arbitrage. Think of an ATM as a small steel employee that works 24 hours a day, never complains, and takes a small tax on every person who needs cash. Take the case of Paul Alex. He was a police officer in San Francisco. He did not quit his job to chase a dream. He bought one machine for $2,100 and placed it in a nail salon. That single machine paid him $500 a month in profit. The average person sees an ATM and thinks about the $3 fee they are losing. The builder sees that $3 fee as a 100% margin transaction. Paul did not stop at one. He scaled to 30 machines, generating $10,000 a month in passive cash flow. But here is the hard truth. An ATM is just a hunk of metal if it is in the wrong place. This business is entirely about the art of the lease. You are a real estate negotiator first and a technician second. You are looking for cash-heavy environments, dive bars, nail salons, or festivals where the digital world has not yet fully replaced the physical necessity of paper. To be successful here, you must master the cold approach. You walk into a business and you do not ask for a favor. You offer a solution. You tell the owner, I will provide a service your customers want, I will handle all the maintenance, and I will pay you for the floor space. You are turning their dead square footage into a profit center. Question for the community. Are you the type of person who complains about the $3 fee? Or are you the one positioned to collect it? Comment player if you are here to own the system, or spectator if you are just watching others build theirs. Phase 3. The asset-intensive engine or the laundromat logic. There is a reason laundromats have a 95% success rate. It is a utility disguised as a business. People can skip a movie, they can skip a steak dinner, but they cannot skip washing their clothes. It is a recession-proof necessity. The average person sees a laundromat and thinks about the boredom of sitting there. The elite see a physical algorithm. You put in the capital, you install the machines, and the customers do the work for you. However, do not be blinded by the promise of easy money. Let us discuss the brutal honesty of failure. I knew an investor named Mark who thought a laundromat was a get-rich-quick scheme. He bought a failing facility for cheap, thinking he could just turn the lights on and collect coins. He ignored the maintenance logs. Within 3 months, half his machines were leaking and the electrical bill was higher than his revenue. Because he did not understand the mechanics, he was at the mercy of repairmen who overcharged him. He lost $150,000 in a year and had to sell the machines for scrap. The failure point in this business is what I call the maintenance trap. Successful laundromat owners do not just buy machines, they buy a maintenance schedule. They understand that cleanliness is their best marketing tool. If your facility is a dump, you are competing on price. If your facility is a premium environment, you are competing on experience, and you can charge a premium for the same gallon of water. You are not selling soap and water, you are selling time and comfort. Phase 4. The arbitrage of crisis or equipment rental. Listen closely because this is where we move from thousands to millions. This is the world of high-stakes arbitrage. During a factory expansion, a CEO realized his industrial air compressor had suffered a catastrophic failure. Without it, the entire production line stopped. Every hour of downtime cost the company $20,000 in lost output. He found a local rental company and paid $500 a day for a diesel compressor. That rental company bought that machine for a fixed cost, but because they had it in stock when the crisis hit, they could command an astronomical daily rate. This is the equipment rental business. You are essentially an insurance policy for other businesses. You buy the tools that are too expensive for others to own but too vital for them to be without. The U.S. standard for wealth in this sector is driven by the tax code. Pay attention. If you buy a $100,000 piece of machinery, current tax laws often allow for accelerated depreciation. You can write off the entire cost of that asset against your income in the first year. This means you can earn $60,000 in rental revenue and pay zero taxes because your paper loss on the equipment cancels out your cash gain. This is how the 1% stay ahead. They buy assets that the government wants them to own, and they rent those assets to people who are too disorganized to buy them for themselves. With manufacturing returning to the U.S. and infrastructure spending on the rise, the demand for specialized equipment is at an all-time high. This is the perfect hedge against a volatile stock market. It is fast, it is aggressive, and it is tax efficient. Phase 5. The climate monopoly or HVAC systems. If you want to become a millionaire with almost mathematical certainty, look at the air people breathe. HVAC or heating, ventilation, and air conditioning is a service with extreme pricing power. When it is 100 degrees outside and your AC dies, you do not negotiate. You do not shop around for 3 days to save $50. You pay whatever it takes to stop the suffering. The average person sees a blue-collar trade. The elite see a high barrier to entry service with massive lifetime customer value. If I were starting today with zero capital, I would go to trade school. I would work for the best company in the city for 2 years to learn their systems, their pricing, and their customer complaints. Then I would launch my own. The marketing secret for HVAC is not billboards or radio ads, it is localized social media dominance. Most local HVAC companies are run by people who are brilliant with a wrench but illiterate with a smartphone. If you can run a targeted ad to a specific neighborhood that just experienced a heat wave, you will own that market. This leads to an open loop. Did you know that the average HVAC company can be sold for 5 to 7 times its annual profit, while a tech startup often sells for zero if it is not profitable? Which one is the real investment? Phase 6. the highway vulture, or emergency towing. In a small town in Alabama, one of the wealthiest individuals did not own a tech company or a hedge fund. He owned a fleet of tow trucks. He understood a concept called the niche of necessity. While everyone else was towing Honda Civics for $75, he focused on 18-wheelers. When a semi-truck breaks down on a major interstate, it is not just a car on the side of the road. It is a logistics nightmare blocking millions of dollars in commerce. He had the heavy-duty equipment that no one else had. He could name his price because the cost of the truck staying still was higher than any fee he could charge. This is the definition of high-margin, boring business. You are not looking for more customers. You are looking for higher-stakes customers. You are looking for the customer who is losing money every second they do not have your help. That is where the profit lives. The downside? You have to manage specialized drivers and high insurance costs. But for those who can navigate the regulations, it is a license to print money. Phase 7, the empire of waste, or the roll-up strategy. Now we move into the realm of the true elite. Let us talk about Patrick Dovigi and GFL. He took the most boring thing on earth, trash, and turned it into a multi-billion-dollar publicly traded empire. He did not do this by picking up one trash can at a time. He used the roll-up strategy. He found small, local waste management companies that were profitable but lacked the scale to compete. He acquired them one by one over 100 times. Why waste management? Because it is a contract-based business with a massive moat. Once you have the city contract, you have a legal monopoly. The trash does not stop. The economy can crash, but the waste still piles up. The exit strategy for a boring business is the multiplier. If you have a small business making $500,000 a year, a buyer might pay you 3 times that amount. But if you roll up 10 of those businesses into a $5 million a year conglomerate, a private equity firm from Wall Street might pay you 10 to 12 times that amount. You are selling the same earnings, but the scale makes the earnings more valuable. This is the ultimate cheat code of the financial elite. I want to pause here because I know what you are feeling. You are feeling a mix of excitement and a deep, heavy sense of regret. You realize you have spent years chasing trends while the trash man in your neighborhood was getting rich. You have been playing a game with no rules, while the 1% were playing a game with guaranteed outcomes. It is time to be honest. What is the one dream or business idea you buried because someone told you it was too small, too simple, or too dirty? What is that one thing you have been kicking around in your head while you worked your 9 to 5 for someone else's empire? Share your story below. This is a safe space for the builders. We do not judge the dirt. We only judge the lack of ambition. Now, let us look at the blueprint for execution. You do not just jump into these businesses blindly. You follow the channel cash flow checklist. Step 1, radical frugality and lean operations. Do not buy the fancy truck first. John cleaned windows with a bucket and a squeegee. He proved the model before he scaled the overhead. If you cannot make a profit with the bare minimum, $1 million in equipment will only help you fail faster. Step 2, the proof of concept. Before David built an air filter factory, he drop-shipped. He sold products he did not even have yet to see if people would buy. You can do this with a simple landing page and $50 in Google ads. If the phone does not ring, the business is a ghost. Do not build a house on a foundation of silence. Step 3, the Domino's doctrine or hyperlocal focus. Domino's did not try to take over the world in a day. They took over one college town in Michigan. They perfected the delivery system for one specific group of people. Scale is a reward for perfection in a small niche. If you try to be everything to everyone, you are nothing to anyone. Focus on one zip code, own it, then move to the next. The average person is addicted to the start. The elite are addicted to the finish. They understand that a business is not a baby. It is an asset to be groomed and eventually sold. Whether you are cleaning windows or hauling trash, the goal is to build a system that does not require your presence. If you have to be there for the business to make money, you do not own a business, you own a high-stress job. As for those of you still watching, those who have stayed until the final seconds of this analysis, I have a final hard truth for you. The reason you have not started yet is not a lack of capital. It is not a lack of opportunity. It is a lack of ego death. You are too proud to be seen starting at the bottom. You are too worried about what your peers think of your boring business. You want the title of CEO of an AI startup, even if it makes no money. The 1% do not care about being perceived as cool. They care about being perceived as powerful. And in the world of finance, power is measured in cash flow, not in the number of likes on a tech blog. The most dangerous person in the room is the one who is willing to do the work that everyone else thinks is beneath them. If you are ready to put your pride in the drawer and start building a real empire, I want you to leave a sign. Comment the words, "I am a builder," to let the community know you have woken up from the dream of the shiny object. This is only the beginning of our series on generating $10,000 a month in the real economy. If you found value in this breakdown, do the logical thing. Like this video, share it with one person who is currently stuck in the matrix, and